Aliens, Blood and Acid, an audio drama by Cherry Amori. Prologue. The low hum of industrial lights flickers inside Lodge's warehouse. The air is thick with dust and the scent of rusted metal. Royce and Taneka move cautiously, their boots crunching against loose debris as they sweep the darkened space with their flashlights.
Why the hell do we have to be the ones checking this dump? If something's busted, the techs can fix it.
Because we pulled the short straw. Besides, it's probably just some wiring issues.
Royce kicks a loose metal pipe, sending it clattering down the empty corridor. His flashlight sweeps across a stack of old supply crates, stopping on something unusual, a leathery, brown-black object nestled in the shadows.
Taneka, you see this?
Taneka steps closer, narrowing her eyes at the strange, organic-looking shape. Unknown to Royce and Taneka, it's an ovomorph, the grotesque egg-like capsule left behind by the necromorph's rampage months ago.
That's not in the survey logs. Back up, Royce.
Royce ignores her, stepping forward and giving the egg a light kick with his boot.
Looks like a rotten melon.
The ovomorph stirs. A wet, fleshy shifting sound emanates from within. The outer shell quivers slightly.
Dumbass, don't touch it.
Distant alarms begin to wail from deeper inside V-22, signaling an emergency. Taneka frowns, tapping her comms as she hurries toward the exit of the warehouse.
What now? The comms are down. I'm going to check what's going on with security. Stay put.
Royce, alone now, turns his attention back to the ovomorph. The pulsing movements have become more pronounced. He crouches down, shining his flashlight directly at it.
What the hell is inside you?
A sharp, wet crack. The top of the ovomorph splits open, peeling back like a grotesque flower. A shadow goes forth.
Oh!
The facehugger launches from the egg, wrapping its long, bony limbs around Royce's face. He thrashes violently, stumbling backward as it tightens its grip, its tail coiling around his throat. His muffled screams echo as his body collapses onto the cold floor. Chapter 1. Alarms blare. Red warning lights flash in the dim corridors of V-22. Automated emergency messages loop over the intercom.
Emergency lockdown activated. A life-threatening anomaly has been detected. Security protocols are now in effect. No unauthorized movement permitted. Remain in designated areas.
Footsteps pound against metal flooring as Zuri, Jacob, Nova, Jax, Liam, and Noah move quickly through the corridors, weapons drawn.
Station comms are down. We need to find Ronnie and the other CPF officers.
You think they'll help us? Venture's got their own priorities.
They are the best option for survival. This station is compromised. We need information.
And it is our fault. We put these people's lives at risk.
We had no idea Ace was compromised. We are not going to blame ourselves for this. We find CPF, kill the xenomorph, and get off Jericho 3.
Chapter 2. The team moves through dimly lit corridors, the alarms still blaring. They approach a large checkpoint where Ronnie's squad, Ray, Masako, Genevieve, and Donnell, are already standing firm, weapons at the ready.
Whoa, surprised to see you guys still here.
We have a bigger problem. The xenomorph, it's here. We need to bring it down.
You're telling me one of those things got loose here? How?
It came from our ship. We didn't know our ship dog, Ace, was infected. It bursted out after we docked. We're responsible for this mess.
Damn right you are. You have any idea what that means? This thing's probably already hunting.
Footsteps approach quickly from behind. The group turns, weapons raised, as Taneka stumbles onto the scene, out of breath.
Whew. What the hell is going on?
And you are?
Taneka, survey crew. We were surveying the warehouse when everything went nuts.
Great. Another civilian caught up in this mess.
Wait, Xeno what? What the hell were you talking about?
A xenomorph. A killing machine. Fast, smart, and if it's loose in this facility, we have a serious problem.
Oh, shit, Royce. He's back at the warehouse. Before I left, he was messing with some weird egg-looking thing. He said it was moving.
Egg? I thought you guys fought just one. A necromorph. It wasn't a queen, right? So, where did the egg come from?
We did just fight one. Incorrect. It was not a queen.
Then where did this egg come from?
Okay. What did the necromorph you fought look like? Was it huge, with an extra set of arms and a large head crest?
No, nothing like that.
Can we worry about this later? We need to get to Royce.
All right. Everybody load up and move out.
Chapter 3. The heavy metal doors to Lodge's warehouse creak open. The interior is dim, the flickering industrial lights casting eerie shadows over the rows of supply crates. The stale air carries a faint, pungent scent. Boots scrape against the cold concrete as the team cautiously moves in, weapons drawn, flashlights scanning the dark recesses of the storage facility.
There.
Royce lies sprawled on the cold floor, motionless. The dead facehugger rests beside him, its bony limbs curled inward, its body limp and lifeless after completing its purpose. The ovomorph sits open nearby, slick and glistening, its horror already unleashed.
Oh my God.
We're too late. He's been implanted.
A tense silence follows. The team exchanges grim looks, the reality of the situation sinking in.
Then we don't have much time before it hatches.
Something's moving!
Weapons up. Move slowly. No one break formation.
The team advances, careful with each step, their breath shallow. The flickering overhead lights cast long, shifting shadows. Another scrape, this time closer. A shudder passes through the group. The thing in the dark is not running. It's waiting.
It's toying with us.
What the hell was that?
The group snaps in the direction of the disturbance, heartbeats hammering in their ears. The silence afterward is deafening.
Hold your fire. We don't know what we're dealing with yet.
We know exactly what we're dealing with, and it's waiting for us to screw up.
Open fire!
Gunfire erupts. The thunderous boom of pulse rifles and sharp crack of sidearms echo through the warehouse. The team fires at the shifting blur of the xenomorph as it moves like a ghost through the shadows, always one step ahead of their bullets.
It's too fast!
Nova, it's a queen.
Yes, I know, but it is not fully grown yet.
We need to kill that thing. Now.
The Xeno-Queen barrels through the shelves, knocking over entire rows of storage units, sending metal and debris clattering to the ground. It leaps onto a high beam, crouched, hissing, its elongated skull gleaming under the flickering lights.
We need to regroup. Now.
The group pulls back into a more open space, weapons aimed upward as the xenomorph snarls from its perch. Its long, barbed tail flicks dangerously, its elongated head tilting, studying them.
It's assessing threat levels.
No, it's pushing us away from Royce. She knows he is carrying an embryo.
For a split second, silence. Then, it drops. A vicious melee erupts. The Xeno Queen slashes, its tail whipping, its clawed hands lashing out. Bullets tear through the air, some missing, some hitting, but the creature is relentless.
Hey! We're not doing enough damage!
Aim for the body.
The Queen attacks Daniel, knocking him off balance. Her inner jaws burst. Donnell does a tactical roll and avoids the jaws of the Xeno Queen. A shot rings out. The Xeno Queen shrieks and jerks back. Ronnie has landed a direct hit to her chest, but it's not enough to bring it down. The Queen smiles, her tail flicking violently before she bolts, disappearing into the darkness of the warehouse. The team breathes heavily, still on edge, weapons trained on the shadows.
She's gone!
No. She's watching, waiting for another opening.
A slow, rhythmic sound echoes from deeper in the warehouse, dripping, something wet hitting metal.
Blood. Acid. She was wounded.
Which means she's angry and coming back.
The tension hangs heavily. The team tightens their formation, reloading weapons, preparing for the next attack. In the oppressive silence, a single thought lingers.
This isn't over.
Chapter 4. Inside the warehouse, the dim emergency lights flicker, casting eerie shadows. Royce lies on the cold floor, his breathing shallow, his fingers twitching. A faint, strained groan escapes his lips.
Ugh. What happened?
Boots pound against the concrete as Taneka rushes back into the warehouse. Her chest rises and falls with each breath, her adrenaline surging. She freezes when she sees Royce stirring.
Royce! You need to get up. Now!
Royce groans, attempting to push himself up on shaky arms. His face is drenched in sweat, his body weak.
Taneka. What the hell is going on? My head is spinning.
No time. You've been out. Something attacked you. We need to move.
Attacked? I don't...
Royce suddenly clutches his chest, gasping as a deep, sharp pain radiates through him.
Ah! Something's inside me.
Royce, listen to me. Breathe. We'll get you help. Just stay calm.
No! I can feel it inside me. Get it out! Get it out! Ah!
Stop. You need to keep it together. We don't have time.
Oh. Shit.
A massive tail whips out of the darkness with sickening speed. A wet, moody puncture is heard as it impales Taneka through the stomach with horrifying force.
Taneka! No!
The Xeno Queen lets out a deep, guttural hiss, then whips her tail violently, sending Taneka's lifeless body flying into a row of metal shelves. A crash echoes through the warehouse as her body slams into glass, knocking him over in a chain reaction. Royce falls onto his back, scooting away as the Xeno Queen descends from the top shelf, her sleek black body barely making a sound. It lands gracefully, towering over him, her elongated head tilting as if examining its prey.
Oh God. Please. No.
The Xeno Queen lowers her head close to Royce's chest, its inner jaws twitching, saliva dripping onto him. Her nightmarish hiss is inches from his face.
Get away from me! Please!
Then, something changes. Royce's breath hitches. A sudden gut-wrenching crack erupts from inside his chest.
No, what is happening?
Another crack. Then there was a wet tearing sound. Royce's hands clutch his chest as something beneath his ribcage pushes outward.
Ah! It hurts! It hurts!
The Xeno Queen tilts her head, watching with eerie curiosity. Royce's screams become ragged as his ribcage splinters open, flesh and bone parting violently. A grotesque, gurgling shriek erupts from Royce's chest cavity as a newborn necromorph forces its way out. Blood and tissue splatter onto the warehouse floor, steam rising from the wounds. Royce's body convulses violently, his back arching as his final screams cut off into a sickening gurgle. The Xeno Queen takes a slow step back, watching as the newborn necromorph emerges fully, slick with blood, its elongated form twitching in the dim light. The Xeno Queen stares at the newborn, astonished. The newborn lets out a horrific, distorted screech. Silence follows. Then, movement. The Xeno Queen and the newborn necromorph turn their heads towards the warehouse exit, towards the rest of the station. They need to eat. Chapter 5. The station remains eerily silent. The warehouse is drenched in shadow, the only light coming from a flickering overhead lamp swaying from a broken fixture. The metallic scent of blood hangs thick in the air. Footsteps echo in the corridors leading to the warehouse. Slow and cautious, the CPF officers approach the warehouse entrance. Zuri and the others hang back for support.
Stay sharp. We haven't heard movement since the last shots were fired. If that thing's still in here, we're not walking out alive.
Copy that. If we see it, we unload everything. No hesitation.
The group advances slowly, their boots barely making a sound against the warehouse floor. The air is thick, charged with an invisible weight.
I don't like this. Where's Taneka? Where's Royce?
A slow, wet dripping noise echoes through the space. The team stops, eyes flicking toward the source of the sound. A crunch beneath Ronnie's boot. He looks down. A twisted, half-dissolved piece of flesh, Taneka's remains. The blood surrounding it still sizzles from residual acid.
Jesus Christ!
Whatever happened here, it wasn't quick.
A soft scuttling noise above them. A vent rattles. Something has moved.
Eyes up! We are not alone.
The flickering light stabilizes just enough to illuminate the scene. Royce's mangled corpse lies at the center of the warehouse. His chest cavity is shredded open, his rib cage flayed outward like something had clawed its way out from inside him. His face is frozen in an eternal scream, mouth locked open in agony.
No. 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 No.
Silence. A heavy, pressing silence.
What the hell did this?
We need to move. Now. We now have 2 monsters roaming free.
The colony section is over to the south. If they make it there, it will be an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Let's head back to your command post and regroup.
Chapter 6. The dim glow of emergency lights flickers in the residential sector of V-22. The once bustling corridors are now eerily silent. A single door slides open with a soft hiss. Inside, a small family huddles together in their unit, unaware of the horror stalking them. Something massive shifts in the shadows. The scent of fear is thick in the air. A deep, guttural growl vibrates the walls, resonating from 2 different sources. The xenomorph queen moves like liquid shadow, her towering frame silent as she glides into the dimly lit corridor with the necro newborn following her lead. The Xeno Queen snaps her elongated skull toward her counterpart, her inner jaw clicking. She moves ahead, pressing her clawed fingers lightly against the wall of the residential unit, feeling the vibrations inside. The necro newborn tilts its grotesque, asymmetrical head, watching intently. Inside the unit, a mother clutches her child to her chest, her breath coming in sharp, panicked gasps. The flickering emergency lights cast jagged shadows across the walls. Her husband presses his ear to the door, listening.
Something's out there.
The door vibrates as something drags its claws along the metal surface.
Don't make a sound.
Outside, the Xeno Queen steps back and motions with an eerie tilt of her head. The necro newborn watches carefully. The Xeno Queen lowers her elongated head, bringing herself closer to the door, listening. Then, she moves her massive form, pressing herself into the shadows. The necro newborn observes. Then, she mimics the movement and melds into the darkness as well.
What is going on now? I told you we should have left once they opened the colony back up.
It's probably nothing. Just stay quiet and we'll get through this like before.
I'm scared. Are there monsters outside?
No, honey. There's no such thing as monsters. Just scary stories.
A single droplet of saliva drips from the ceiling, landing on the husband's shoulder.
Ew, gross. Daddy, what is that dripping from the ceiling?
The ceiling panels explode open. The Xeno Queen's tail crashes through the ceiling, impaling the man instantly. The husband's body is violently yanked into the vents, his scream cutting off into a gurgling sound. The necro newborn charges forward, her grotesque form crashing through the door, splintering metal. The mother clutches her child, sobbing.
Please, no.
The Xeno Queen leans in, her inner jaws sliding out slowly, tasting the fear in the air. She pauses, then steps aside. The necro newborn moves forward, her blackened claws reaching out, grasping the mother's trembling form. A long pause, then a deep, wet snap. The necro newborn pulls away, the mother's lifeless body hanging in her claws. The Xeno Queen lets out a long, bone-chilling hiss, satisfied. The necro newborn twitches, clicking her jaws. She has learned. The child stifles a sob, backing into the corner of the room. The Xeno Queen tilts her head toward the child and hisses, then vanishes into the shadows. The necro newborn finishes off the mother and follows the Xeno Queen. The child begins to sob and closes her eyes. The room falls quiet. The child opens her eyes and sees that the monsters have left. The child begins to move to where her mother's body lies.
Mommy,
as the child is standing next to their parents' bodies, she hears a noise above her. She looks up and sees a bony long hand reach out towards her and snatches her into the air. Chapter 7. The CPF officers and the Seeker crew move quickly through the dim corridors of V-22, heading toward the CPF command post. Emergency lights cast an eerie red glow through the corridors.
We need to assess the situation.
Not reading any motion. We should warn the civilians before they start dropping like flies. If even one of those things makes it into the living quarters, it's over.
I haven't forgotten what one of those bastards did to this facility.
The heavy steel doors of the CPF command post slide open with a hydraulic hiss. Inside, monitors flicker, displaying security feeds from various sections of the colony. The room is lined with weapon racks and tactical equipment.
Okay, we are dealing with two different creatures. The necromorph seems to be the more extreme threat.
Zuri is correct. The necromorph can spread necrosis.
And what is that?
It is a cellular disease. It breaks down the cells in your body and are irreversibly damaged. Based on what the nurses explained when we went to see Jax, the necromorph can use the disease to kill victims or just infect them with disease. Those infected suffer a long, painful death.
We've seen firsthand what that necromorph can do. It can spread through a whole sector in minutes.
Both are dangerous. The xenomorph is a queen, and I'm pretty sure she is looking for a nice place to make her hive so she can lay eggs. We need to move swiftly but carefully and check our weapons and use these security cameras to see where Mom and Baby are.
The team fans out, checking weapons and monitoring security footage. The screens show eerie, empty hallways, then movement, a dark shape slithering through the maintenance tunnels.
There, East Wing in the personnel sector. One of them just slipped into the ventilation system.
And where do those vents lead?
Everywhere.
Probability of colony-wide casualties increases exponentially if we do not intercept it now.
All right, we split up. One team cuts it off before it reaches the civilians. We can still access the personnel unit even though there is a shutdown. The others stay here and give Nova backup in case one of those things get in here.
Okay, but that was just one? We don't know where the other one is.
They must be together. We need to move now.
I will guide you using security cameras to track movement. I will also see if I can contact Venture to get more help.
I'll go with the cutoff team. We're not letting these things take the colony.
I'm with you. Let's end this before it starts.
Chapter 8. The corridors of the colony are filled with a tense, ominous silence. Dim emergency lights flicker as the team moves through the residential sector, weapons raised.
Feels too quiet.
Not quiet enough. Movement, 30 meters ahead.
A distant skittering noise echoes through the vents above them. Suddenly, a piercing scream. A civilian's terrified wail rips through the air, followed by the unmistakable wet, tearing sound of flesh being ripped apart.
Move! Move!
The team sprints down the corridor, rounding a corner just in time to see the Xeno Queen dragging a screaming colonist into the darkness.
She's got someone! Take her down!
Pulse rifles roar to life. Bullets rip into the Xeno Queen's body, sending acidic blood splattering onto the walls. The creature screeches in fury and rushes into one of the residential units.
It's too fast. We need to box it in.
If it escapes into the maintenance tunnels, we lose it.
Then we don't let it escape.
More gunfire. The Xeno Queen hisses, wounded, but still deadly. She uses the shadows and disappears into a nearby maintenance passageway.
Shit! We lost her!
A radio crackles. Back at the command post, Nova's voice comes through, urgency clear in her tone.
We've got a bigger problem. The second creature is there too in the western region of the colony. It has now grown, and we have a second queen, a necromorph queen. Do not pursue it. Since it spreads necrosis, it will be too dangerous to attack it. Everyone needs to get back to the command post.
2 queens? What the hell is happening here?
Everybody fall back to command.
The team exchanges grim looks. Can it get any worse? Chapter 9. The lower levels of the personnel facility, a place consumed by darkness, thick mist hovering 3 feet above the floor, colonists, men, women, and children, their bodies entombed in thick, slimy secretion. Some scream, others whimper, while many cough violently, racked with the effects of the necrosis. The air is wet with the sound of bodies twitching, convulsing, and necrotic boils rupturing open. The Xeno Queen sits upon a grotesque throne of organic secretion, her long, milky white ovipositor pulsating as fresh eggs slide out in slow, wet plops. Her body trembles, her once impenetrable black carapace riddled with blistering sores. Acidic blood dribbles from newly formed boils, sizzling on the floor. Across from her, The Necro Queen watches, seated on a throne of blackened, cancerous flesh, her grotesque, jagged body twitching violently. Her own ovipositor, thick and veined, pulses as she lays twisted, misshapen eggs. A xenodrone scurries forward, carefully inspecting the new batch of eggs. It pauses. Some of the ovomorphs are bloated, malformed, their surfaces split open, leaking necrotic fluid. The Xenoqueen watches as her hive is failing. Hosts fall unconscious, dying before the implantation is completed. Facehuggers emerge, confused, sensing weak hosts, their limbs twitching with uncertainty. The xenomorph queen's body shudders violently, more boils bursting along her body. A deep wail escapes her jaws, a sound of agony, of realization. Necrosis disease is spreading through her hive. The Necro Queen tilts her grotesque head, watching. Her breathing is steady, dominant. She knows this hive belongs to her now. The Xeno Queen slowly rises from her throne. Her inner jaw slides forward. She hisses, but it is weaker than before. The battle begins. The Xeno Queen attacks first, despite her weakness. Her claws swiped, tearing into the Necro Queen's chest, puncturing deep. A wet, crunching sound. The Necro Queen does not recoil. Instead, she shifts her weight unnaturally, twisting in a way no living thing should. With a sudden snap, she lashes out, one of her jagged limbs tearing into the Xeno Queen's side, ripping through her plating. Acid blood pours, splattering against the fleshy hive walls. The burning stench fills the air. But the Xeno Queen retaliates. Her barbed tail arcs forward, stabbing deep into the Necro Queen's ribcage. A dull, sickening crunch. The Necro Queen shudders, but does not react in pain. Instead, she wraps both of her massive clawed arms around the Xeno Queen, locking her in place. The Necro Queen opens her elongated, split jaw and exhales. A thick, black fog spews forth, engulfing the Xeno Queen. The Xenomorph Queen convulses violently, choking. Her exoskeleton begins to bubble, corrode, dissolve. Her movements become sluggish. Her claws swipe weakly at the Necro Queen trying to escape her grasp. Suddenly, a group of xenodrones shriek from the walls, launching themselves onto the Necro Queen with claws slashing, tails stabbing. They refuse to let their queen be defeated. The Necro Queen staggers, her thick armor splitting under their repeated attacks. But she does not fall. With a brutal spin, she grabs a drone mid-air, crushing it in her claws. Another drone lunges, only for her tail to whip around, sending it flying into the fleshy walls. The Xeno Queen uses the distraction, and with one final roar, she rushes forward, sinking her massive jaws into the Necromorph Queen's neck. The Necro Queen stumbles, twitching violently, but she is still stronger. She uses her tail to steady herself. The Necro Queen whips her massive tail at the Xeno Queen and connects with her chest. The blow sends the Xeno Queen sailing across the room, and she slams into a row of ovomorphs. The Xeno Queen spasms, her body locking up in violent seizures from being exposed to necrosis. The Necro Queen walks over to the Xeno Queen and grabs her crested head and pulls it close to hers. The Necro Queen's mouth parts, and her inner jaws extend. With one brutal strike, she plunges her inner jaw into the Xeno Queen's skull. The Xeno Queen shudders, then falls still. The Necro Queen stands and lets out a victorious roar. Chapter 10. The CPF command center is dimly lit, the glow of emergency monitors flickering across the faces of exhausted soldiers. The air is thick with tension. Tactical equipment is scattered across the central table, where maps and schematics of V-22 are displayed. The sound of booted feet echoes as Ronnie, Zuri, Jacob, Genevieve, Ray, Masako, and Donnell push through the heavy metal doors.
Glad you guys made it back safely. What the hell are we dealing with?
The xenomorph queen looked a little different from the queen we saw on the Ephemeral. She moved on all fours majority of the fight, like a dog. It's like Ace's death reshaped her.
Her morphology confirms canine origins. Since Ace was the host, the queen developed quadrupedal locomotion.
It was snatching people and not killing them.
They need the colonists to create soldiers, but there can't be two queens in one hive, let alone a planet.
Aside from there being two queens, these things will lay eggs and there will be more xenomorphs and necromorphs running around here. A few months back when Zula was here, it took everything we had just to defeat one necromorph. How can we defeat an army?
We can't.
Nova, were you able to reach out for help?
We don't need help! We need to leave this planet!
Jax is right. Unfortunately, we can't save everybody. We don't have enough gear to protect them from this nightmare that is going to rain down on us.
To answer your question, Jacob, I did put out a distress call. I was not able to get a hold of anyone at Venture, but I am pretty sure they are aware of what is going on here.
We're not making it out of here alive, are we?
Not if we sit here and wait to die.
We still have our ship, the Seeker, in the hangar bay.
We can't just leave these people to die.
We can't stay here and die either.
We need to devise a plan to get back to the Seeker. But we also need more firepower to slow these bastards down so we can escape.
Before we make any moves, I need access to the facility's lockdown controls. The entire station is still sealed. We can't reach the armory or the hangar without overriding the security protocols. The CPF command center has a direct link to the security grid. I'll need time to bypass the system and manually open the doors to each section. But once I do, they won't be able to lock down again.
So we either win this fight or die running.
We don't have a choice. We split up. One team goes for the armory, loads up on whatever weapons and explosives we can find. The other heads for the hangar and gets the Seeker ready for takeoff.
All right, who's going where?
I'm staying here to monitor your progress.
Good. I'll take the armory, and I will need majority of the crew. That's me, Jacob, Ronnie, Liam, Masako, Genevieve, and Jax. We'll grab as much firepower as possible. We need to destroy the facility too.
That means my team will secure the Seeker, since it is my ship. We'll need to run diagnostics, refuel, and prep the launch sequence before we can take off. Ray and Donnell, you're with me.
We're seriously going back out there? Those things will be crawling over the facility by now.
This is not up for a debate. Get your shit together, Jax.
V-22 is made up of 5 dome-shaped buildings, each connected by enclosed corridors. Research and development sits in the center. We're in personnel right now, which means you'll need to cross through biosciences to get to the armory, and through facilities management to reach the hangar.
And I assume these corridors can be sealed off?
No. Each one has an independent lockdown function in case of a catastrophic event, which this absolutely qualifies as. Once I release the lockdown, the doors cannot be sealed again.
And I assume these corridors can't be sealed again either.
That is correct.
Great. Love those odds.
Before you make any moves, we need to address a major problem. The necromorph can spread necrosis and make it airborne. If you go out there without protection, you won't make it far.
Damn it. So we need suits. We had to suit up a few months ago when we battled the first necromorph with Zula Hendricks. Kinda wishing she was still here to help us now.
Yeah, me too. I remember that the research and development facility has environmental suits. We grabbed those first, then split up.
The only problem is that once the lockdown is released, then all hell is going to break loose. You will need to get to the R&D quickly and suit up.
We hit R&D first, gear up, then split up. My team is going to the armory. We'll load up on whatever weapons and explosives we can find. Noah's team will head for the hangar and get the Seeker ready for takeoff. We will plant explosives as we head back to command to regroup with Nova. Once we have Nova, we all head to Noah's group, waiting on the Seeker.
Sounds solid.
We stick to the plan, we move fast, and we don't stop. Nova, get those doors ready. We're heading out.
Copy that. Initiating the system override. Stand by.
What the hell was that?
I really don't want to know.
Just be careful out there. Corridors are opening now.
Here we go.
Chapter 11. The team moves cautiously through the dim corridors of V-22, their boots barely making a sound against the metal grating. The emergency lights flicker erratically, casting eerie shadows against the cold steel walls. The air is heavy with unnatural dampness, and the smell of rot lingers.
Stay quiet. We don't know what's ahead.
The faint sound of metal creaking echoes through the corridor, followed by an unsettling scraping noise from somewhere above. The team stops with weapons raised.
Keep moving. We're sitting ducks here.
They press forward, the corridor winding through the facility in a maze-like fashion. Every turn feels more claustrophobic, the mist growing thicker as they approach the research and development building. The automated doors to R&D groan open with a heavy thud. The room beyond is eerily quiet. The sterile white walls are smeared with blackened blood, flickering overhead lights revealing overturned tables, shattered glass, and medical equipment strewn across the floor.
Where the hell is everyone?
No bodies. That's worse.
Let's get the suits and get out. No one lag behind.
Ronnie leads the team toward a secured storage area. A reinforced glass room sits at the far end of the lab, rows of environmental suits neatly lined inside. The locking mechanism blinks red.
Give me a sec, I can override this.
Fine. We'll check the other rooms, see if there's anything useful.
Stay close.
Jax and Liam break off, moving deeper into the lab, passing rows of shattered containment units and abandoned workstations. A faint rustling noise from up ahead. The door to a testing room stands slightly ajar, the security panel blinking weakly.
Did you hear that?
Liam heads to the testing room while Jax looks at a workstation. Inside the testing room, a scientist sits in a chair, motionless. His body is bloated, covered in black lesions and swollen abscesses. His head slumps forward, strands of dark necrotic fluid dripping from his chin. A terminal beside him blinks with corrupted data.
What the hell happened to you?
A wet, ragged cough sounds behind him. Liam spins around and raises his weapon. A scientist stumbles out of the shadows, his body trembling, his skin peeling. His lips part, trying to speak, but his throat is clogged with black sludge. He stumbles forward, reaching out. The scientist collapses onto Liam. Liam drops his rifle and catches the scientist. The scientist looks up at Liam and coughs. Black, hot pus lands on Liam's face.
Hey! What the hell?
Liam starts to wipe the black ooze off his face. He turns and sees Jax walk up and quickly closes the glass door to the testing room and holds the handle to keep the room closed.
Liam, what happened?
Liam turns and walks toward the glass door, but suddenly coughs. His breath catches. A sharp, burning pain lances through his chest.
Wait.
More coughing. His hands tremble as he wipes his mouth, leaving behind blackened smears of murky fluid.
No.
Jax bolts and runs back to the group.
We've got a problem! Liam's infected!
The team whirls around as Jax stumbles into the suit storage. Behind him, Liam staggers into the hallway, his face now mottled with black sores, his breathing labored.
Liam, don't move. Jax, get over there and put on a fucking suit.
I can't breathe. It hurts.
Liam falls to the floor. His body twitches violently, his veins bulging and blackening before their eyes.
It's too late.
A final shuddering gasp. Liam's eyes roll back, his body going limp.
Did you hear that?
The skittering grows louder. A series of rapid thuds. Something drops from the ceiling vents.
Facehuggers! Move!
The room erupts into chaos as facehuggers scuttle across the floor, their gangly legs moving unnaturally fast. Jax is still trying to put on the hazard suit when he's attacked by a facehugger. The facehugger begins wrapping itself around Jax's face. He screams, thrashing, and begins trying to pry it off.
Hold still!
She smashes the facehugger with the butt of her pulse rifle, but the facehugger is not letting go. She pulls out her tactical knife and cuts off one of the facehugger's limbs. As soon as the limb is cut, black falls on Jax's face and down his throat. A second facehugger leaps onto Genevieve's face, but luckily, the suit's helmet is blocking it from grasping onto her. She takes her tactical knife and starts cutting at the facehugger.
Genevieve, don't!
It's the helmet. It can't break through.
Just then, the deformed facehugger takes one of its cut limbs that is oozing with black acid and starts jabbing at Genevieve's helmet. The protective layer of the helmet begins to burn away. Genevieve unstraps her helmet and throws it across the room into a corner. She finishes off the facehugger with her pulse rifle.
I think that's all of them. Genevieve, grab another helmet from another suit. We need to get moving.
Genevieve turns to grab the helmet that was meant for Jax. Just then, a facehugger latches onto her face. Her screams are muffled. She is grabbing at the limbs of the facehugger to get it off her face. She reaches again for her tactical knife, but before she can grab it, a black, shiny, clawed hand reaches from a vent and yanks her inside.
God damn it! Everybody out the lab.
The team scrambles out of the lab. As they exit, the sound of skittering grows fainter. The remaining facehuggers retreat into the vents.
We lost 3. Just getting these damn suits.
Then let's make it count.
Chapter 12. The display flickers as Nova forces the override, rerouting power to unlock access to research and development and the connecting corridors. She watches the security feeds closely, seeing Zuri and the others reach the R&D facility.
They have accessed research and development. Environmental suits should be available in Lab Section 3. Probability of survival increases to 31.2%.
A distant metallic crash. Nova's synthetic eyes shift slightly toward the reinforced doors of the command center. Something is moving outside. A slow, dragging sound echoes through the hallway, the scraping of something heavy against metal. Then silence, then knocking on the door. Her hands move across the console, bringing up a nearby surveillance feed. The grainy camera flickers to life. A grotesque silhouette lurches into view. Nova sees what looks like a man, or could be a woman, wearing a Venture personnel uniform. Their skin is blackened with lesions, eyes hollow. They are knocking on the door to the CPF command center. A sickly, gurgling noise escapes its lips and begins to cough violently. Nova stands and points her rifle towards the door. Nova turns her attention back to the console. After a minute, the Venture personnel turns and heads down the corridor leading to the administration facility. Nova's synthetic eyes flick back to the monitors. Suddenly, a console on the far end of the room beeps repeatedly. Nova's head tilts slightly as she moves toward it, her fingers gliding across the controls. The screen flashes. Incoming transmission, encrypted frequency. The screen flickers, stabilizing. A human face appears on the monitor. A Colonial Marines officer, clad in regulation combat gear, eyes stern and unyielding. The insignia on his uniform is unmistakable.
This is Lieutenant Everett of the United States Colonial Marines. Identify yourself immediately.
This is Nova, synthetic operative assigned to CPF V-22.
We received an automated distress signal originating from your location. Your station is flagged as a biohazard risk. We need immediate confirmation of the situation.
Facility compromised. Hostile bioorganic entities are present, uncontained. Situation classified as critical.
Confirmed. We are dispatching a rapid response unit to Jericho 3. You are to maintain your position and provide further status updates. Expected arrival, 6 hours.
The transmission cuts, leaving only a blinking cursor on the screen. Nova stares at it for a moment before glancing at the security feeds again. Chapter 13. The heavy echo of boots moving through the corridors, faint, staggered, and exhausted. The team emerges from the mist-shrouded entrance of R&D, covered in sweat and grime. Their environmental suits are sealed, but their faces are strained. The silence that follows the fight is deafening. Nova's voice crackles over comms, filtered through the team's helmets.
Zuri, do you read?
We're here, suited. What is it, Nova?
While monitoring your approach to R&D, I received a response from my emergency distress signal. I anticipated contact from Venture Corporation, but it was not them.
The team stops mid-step, tension returning instantly.
Then who was it?
Lieutenant Everett of the United States Colonial Marines. He confirmed receipt of the signal and has dispatched a rapid response unit. Estimated arrival, 6 hours.
Colonial Marines? Here? That's good. Why am I getting the feeling you don't want them here?
It's a long story.
No offense, but we don't have time for a story. But we do need their help. What did they say, Nova?
They're coming to assess and respond.
Then we better be gone before they arrive. They'll shoot first and ask questions never.
Distant clanging echoes through the corridor behind them.
My team's heading for the Seeker. We'll get it running and hold position at the hangar.
Acknowledged. Corridor paths remain clear, but movement has been detected in the administration facility. Paths are clear to the hangar and armory. Not sure how long that will last.
Right. Thanks, Nova. We need to get moving. Now.
The armory team peels off, their boots echoing through the corridor as they head toward the armory. The Seeker team heads the opposite way, moving toward the distant glow of the hangar. The group splinters, each step pulling them further into darkness. Chapter 14. The armory team moves swiftly through the dimly lit corridors, their environmental suits hissing softly with each breath. Emergency lights blink red along the ceiling, casting rhythmic flashes that make the shadows seem alive. The floor beneath their boots is sticky in places, coated with dried blood and other, less identifiable substances.
Keep tight. We don't talk unless we have to.
A metal pipe creaks above them, drawing everyone's aim upward. Silence. A droplet falls, landing on Ronnie's shoulder. He wipes it away, black and sticky.
We're not alone.
They press forward, leading them into a long stretch of corridor lined with shattered wall panels and flickering floor lights. The shadows move oddly here, as if something's crawling just at the edge of the light.
We're close. Armory's about 100 meters past the emergency bulkhead up ahead.
Then let's not waste time.
As they move, a sudden noise stops them, a soft skittering, fast, aggressive. It vanishes as quickly as it came.
Whatever that was, it wasn't big, but it was fast.
Could be scouts. Eyes forward.
They reach the emergency bulkhead. Masako taps the panel, and after a moment of delay, it groans open. The air inside the armory corridor is colder. They step into the corridor. The lights here are darker, flickering even less frequently.
Checking in, we've reached the armory access corridor.
The team reaches the armory door. Ronnie activates the keypad. The lock disengages with a hiss, and the door slowly opens. The interior of the armory is intact. Racks of weapons line the walls, crates of ammunition stacked neatly in reinforced cages.
We've got ammo, explosives, grenades.
As they begin to gather gear, a sharp noise echoes from the back of the armory, a dry, rasping sound, then silence.
Did you hear?
A figure lunges from the shadows, its body twisted, bloated with black veins. A former CPF officer slams into Jacob, knocking him down.
Contact!
Masako opens fire on the CPF officer. The officer drops to the floor.
Hold fire, Masako.
Zuri kneels beside Jacob, helping him up.
I'm good. Let's get what we need and get out.
Set the charges, grab everything you can carry. We're turning this place into a bomb.
Let's get back to Nova.
Chapter 15. Heavy footsteps echo through the enclosed corridor. The Seeker team, Noah, Donnell, and Ray, move quickly through the facility. Their suits hum softly with each breath. Overhead, metal groans under unseen weight, and the distant moan of the facility creaks.
We don't stop unless I say so. Keep formation and watch those corners.
You hear that? Something's moving in the vents.
Above them, the ventilation shaft rattles. A sharp clatter, then silence. The group pushes on, reaching an intersection. A large sign glows dimly above them. Facilities management. Hangar access.
Almost there. The Seeker should be just beyond the security door. Nova, are you reading us?
Confirmed. Security door to hangar is unlocking.
A loud clang to their right makes the team freeze. The light above them flickers violently. They move forward, rifles raised.
How much farther?
15 meters. Eyes up.
As they turn the final corner, the hangar bay doors come into view, partially open. Inside, the Seeker rests on its landing struts, flickering spotlights illuminating the floor. Equipment is scattered across the bay. A few support crew lay dead near a control panel, their bodies blackened and blistered from necrosis.
We're here. Let's get her ready to fly.
The team rushes in. Donnell and Ray check and clear the area, while Noah heads straight for the Seeker's access ramp. Inside, systems flicker but remain online. Noah stops short in the cargo bay of the ship. Ace's body still lies there. He takes a deep breath and drags Ace's body off the ship.
Rest now, old friend.
Now is not the time for Noah to mourn. They need to get off this planet.
Power's holding. Diagnostics are green. Ray, check fuel. Donnell, get exterior cams back online.
Fuel lines are full. We've got enough to make a clean jump.
Cameras booting up.
Outer lights flick on.
We hold this position until the other team gets back. Nova, tell them we're operational.
Message relayed.
A sharp clang from above. A grotesque figure drops. Twisted, bloated, boils covering its skin. A necro-drone.
Damn. We need to go out there and protect the ship. No, stay inside.
Donnell and Ray exit the Seeker. Another Necro drone joins the first, advancing.
Hold the line! Don't let them near the Seeker!
Gunfire erupts. Bullets slam into the Necro drones, but they barely react.
We're wasting ammo!
Drive them behind the ship. I have an idea.
2 coming in from the left.
Ray and Donnell push the Necro drones behind the Seeker.
Stand clear!
Noah powers the Seeker's engines. The Necro drones draw closer. With a roar, Noah fires the engines at full thrust. Flames engulf the drones, burning them. Their black blood hisses as it hits the hangar floor.
You got him, Noah!
Watch your back. More incoming.
2 more Necro drones appear, flanking Ray and Donnell. Before they can attack, a guttural hiss. 3 Xeno drones leap from the shadows. The 2 forces collide with terrifying force. The Xeno drones slash at the Necro drones with bladed tails and clawed hands. Acid sprays. The Necro drones retaliate, spewing black mist into the air, melting the surrounding floor and walls. A Xeno drone pounces and rips a Necro drone's arm clean off, but the Necro drone keeps fighting, impaling the Xeno drone with jagged bone protrusions. A second Necro drone pins a Xeno drone to the wall, snapping its jaw open as blackened fluid pours over its prey. Another Xeno drone leaps high and lands on a Necro drone's back, stabbing into its skull with its inner jaw. The Necro drone convulses violently, throwing the Xeno drone across the hangar.
Get inside now!
Ray and Donnell sprint to the Seeker's ramp. Noah slams the controls, closing the ramp shut. They watch the battle unfold on external cams.
Nova, we've got a war in the hangar. Get us some breathing room.
Acknowledged. Releasing cargo hull doors now. Brace yourselves.
A deep mechanical hum. The massive rear cargo doors of the hangar unlock and slide open with a thunderous groan. A violent vacuum rips through the hangar. Xeno and Necro alike screech in fury as they are sucked into space, claws tearing, tails whipping, black blood and acid mist trailing behind them into the black void. The door seals shut. Silence.
That was insane.
They were fighting for dominance.
And now they're gone. For now.
Area secure.
Roger that, Nova. Seeker is functional.
We are heading your way now. Stay safe.
Chapter 16. The dim, red-lit corridors of V-22 groan with tension. The armory team moves swiftly, their suits hissing with every breath. A soft, digital ticking sounds from Ronnie's wrist. A synced timer reads 52 minutes and 37 seconds.
We've got less than an hour to get to Nova and reach the hangar. These bombs aren't gonna wait.
Zuri taps her comm.
Nova, we're en route. What's your status?
Command center remains secure. I am monitoring corridor activity. No breaches yet.
The team pushes through the final corridor and approaches the sealed command center doors. Zuri taps the access panel. A heavy hiss, and the doors slide open. Nova stands calmly at the central console, illuminated by the pale blue light of surveillance feeds and holographic displays.
Your arrival is 3 minutes ahead of projected time. Well done.
We've set the last of the charges. Timer's running. Let's move.
Before Nova can respond, a console flashes red. An alert beeps rapidly. Nova steps over and touches the panel.
Incoming transmission. External channel. Origin. Colonial Marine Vessel Oryx.
A small display activates. The face of Lieutenant Everett appears on screen, his expression sharp, uniform pristine.
This is Lieutenant Everett of the United States Colonial Marines. CPF. Respond.
This is Nova. I am receiving you.
Status of the facility.
Compromised. Biohazard confirmed. Necrotic contamination is widespread. Personnel casualties substantial.
Understood. I need to know. Who authorized your distress signal?
CPF Captain Ronnie Yu initiated the transmission based on CPF emergency response protocols.
Is there a Zuri Anderson present at your location?
A brief pause. Nova turns slightly, glancing at Zuri, but not directly addressing her.
Multiple surviving personnel are under my protection. Their identities are currently classified due to Wayland Yutani's conflict of interest. This is a venture corporation, and that information is classified.
That wasn't an answer.
I am prioritizing survival. Full personnel logs can be transmitted once evac is complete.
Lieutenant Everett's gaze narrows. Then he exhales slowly.
Understood. Be ready for extraction. Everett out.
The transmission cuts. A moment of silence follows, thick with tension.
How did they know about Zuri being here?
Doesn't matter. Let's make sure we are gone before they get here.
Let's move. We're not leaving anyone behind.
The team turns, leaving the CPF command center quickly. The doors shut behind them as they head for the hangar. Chapter 17. Deep beneath the station, in the sublevels where light no longer dares to reach, the Necro Queen's hive festers. The air is thick with rot, and the walls pulse with the steady rhythm of disease. Faint cries echo from cocooned colonists, many already silent, their bodies blackened. A stillness lingers over the chamber, dead silence, broken only by the occasional wet pop of an abscess erupting. The Xeno Queen's throne lies shattered, her empty nest surrounded by ovomorphs that never hatched. The air is damp and foul. A low, bubbling hiss begins to build. From the shadows, 5 xenodrones emerge, their sleek forms glistening with acid dew. They move with silent precision, watching, waiting. The Necro Queen looms near the center of the hive, her grotesque body swollen, skin plated with bone-like armor, her claws twitching as she surveys the remains of what was once a thriving hive. She screeches, agitated by the stillness, her shoulders heaving with each breath. Suddenly, the Xenodrones strike. 3 of them attack at her flank, while the other 2 rush toward the rear of the chamber. The attack is sharp and fast. The first drone slashes at her hind leg, causing the Necro Queen to stumble slightly, howling with rage. As the Necro Queen turns to retaliate, the other 2 Xenodrones seize their prize, the body of the fallen Xeno Queen, cocooned in a crumpled nest of resin and sinew. With incredible strength, they begin to drag her lifeless form out of the hive. Her roar rattles the hive walls. She throws the attacking Xenodrone into the resin wall with a deafening crunch and tears through her hive like a berserker, chasing after the retreating Xenodrones. She slams through the passageways, crushing ovomorphs and supports alike in her wake. Her clawed feet rip through floor plating. She screeches again, a call to all remaining Necrodrones. Her pursuit is halted for a split second by an alarm, a distant, distorted sound. The airlock breach warning. Through the remnants of an access window, she sees them, Necros and Xenos, drifting in space. The Necro Queen lets out an enraged, guttural scream deeper than before. Her rage echoes through the hive tunnels and triggers an immediate response. From the depths, dozens of Necrodrones emerge. Some claw their way out of cocoons, others erupt from broken chambers. One by one, they heed her call. With their numbers rallied, the Necro Queen turns her gaze toward the upper levels. The Necro Horde is coming. Chapter 18. Alarms pulse in rhythm with the emergency lights as Zuri, Jacob, Ronnie, Masako, and Nova sprint through the winding corridors. The rumble beneath their feet grows louder with every step. The red hue of the emergency lights fades briefly as a power fluctuation ripples through the station.
That rumble. The bombs? They're not supposed to go off yet.
Negative. The detonation timer remains intact. This is not the bombs.
The group continues sprinting, the floor vibrating beneath them. Metal groans, distant screeches and slamming bulkheads echo from far behind. The unmistakable, deafening roar of the Necro Queen bellows somewhere nearby. The sound tears through the corridor like thunder. The team pushes harder, boots pounding against the metal floor. The corridor ahead opens into the hangar access tunnel. The glow of the Seeker's lights is visible just beyond. Just as they cross the threshold into the hangar, a massive impact blasts through the station. The hangar shakes violently. A loud boom tears through the walls as everyone is thrown forward. The hangar doors explode inward as the Necro Queen tears through the steel plating. Her grotesque body fills the threshold, black boils bursting across her armored skin. Metal groans and rips like paper under her claws.
Get to the Seeker.
The team rushes toward the Seeker. Behind them, the Necro Queen rushes, dragging her bulk into the hangar. Dozens of Necro drones swarms in after her, screeching and convulsing as they charge. The team takes cover behind crates and maintenance vehicles. Gunfire erupts. Rounds slam into the incoming drones.
Fall back to the Seeker.
The Necro Queen barrels forward. Her claws rip into the Seeker's frame. She slams into the Seeker's hull, denting the side panels. Her scream distorts the air. A Necro drone leaps at Ronnie, clawing at his suit. He is able to dodge the Necro drone, but not before a necrosis claw rips through the outer layer of his suit. Ronnie quickly bunches the ripped fabric and creates a loose knot. The Necro drone rebalances and prepares another attack on Ronnie. Just before it pounces, a Xeno drone attacks it and throws it against the wall of the hangar. Donnell and Ray stand on the loading ramp, providing cover fire for the others to make it onto the Seeker. The team rallies inside of the Seeker. The Necro Queen rams into the side of the Seeker again at full force. Noah powers up the Seeker. Outside of the ship, there is an all-out war. Necromorphs fighting Xenomorphs. The Necro Queen sees the ship powering up. She lets out a powerful roar. Necro drones turn their attention from the Xenodrones and rush the Seeker. Necro drones begin scratching and ramming the hull of the Seeker.
All right, let's get out of here before they tear this ship apart.
Noah starts to roar up the engines. The Necro Queen roars again. Necro drones begin to ram themselves into the thrusters. A loud boom fills the hangar, and the back of the Seeker bursts into flames and is thrown on its side. Everyone inside falls hard. Sparks fly. Emergency lights flicker, just as the Necro Queen begins to approach again. A blinding flash lights up the hangar as a second vessel bursts through the upper blast doors, a colonial marine dropship. It hovers above, twin miniguns spinning to life.
This is the United States Colonial Marines.
Gunfire erupts from the Marines. They target the Necro Queen and her drones with precision. The first volley tears through the nearest Necro drone. The Queen reels back, shrieking. More Marines repel in, weapons blazing. Explosions knock drones into walls. The Necro Queen charges the dropship, but incendiary rounds slow her. The Marines form a perimeter around the Seeker. They blow the cargo door open on the ship. The Marines enter the Seeker and find the crew sprawled around the bridge.
We've got them. Package secured.
Glad you guys showed up early, but we have bombs set and have 8 minutes and 42 seconds before this place blows.
The Necro Queen swings wildly, knocking crates and machinery over. Her shrieks become desperate, violent. Marines concentrate their fire, finally driving her back with a powerful explosive. The survivors are pulled aboard the dropship. The hatch begins to close. Marines shout and fire one last barrage into the hangar. The hatch seals. Silence inside. Everyone breathes heavily. Nova remains standing. Ronnie silently clutches his wounded side.
Secure the survivors.
Weapons are raised. Tension fills the air.
Zuri Anderson, you are under arrest for violating interstellar containment protocols.
Marines move forward. One places cuffs on Zuri's wrists. She doesn't resist. The dropship engines engage. Outside the viewport, the hangar erupts in flame. The camera feed on the Marine HUD catches the moment the charges ignite. A blinding white light washes over the screen. The Seeker and the station vanish in a chain of thunderous detonations. The shockwave ripples into the stars. Nothing remains but silence and fire. Inside the dropship, the survivors sit quietly, burned, bruised, alive.
Set course for the USS Oryx. Debrief and quarantine on arrival.
Chapter 19. They arrive to the USCM vessel Oryx. The survivors are ushered to a quarantine pod on the ship. Zuri and Nova sit apart from the others. Zuri is cuffed and weary. The Oryx banks slightly, stabilizing in orbit.
You two, on your feet!
Zuri and Nova rise without resistance. Marines flank them, guiding them down separate corridors. The others, Jacob, Masako, Noah, Donnell, and Ronnie, watch as they disappear. Metal door hisses open. Zuri is led into a private decontamination chamber by a female officer. Her hands are uncuffed with a metallic click.
Remove the suit. All clothing in the bin. You'll be sprayed and issued clean attire after decontamination.
Zuri hesitates, then begins stripping. The suit lands with a thud into the bin. A moment later, the spray system hisses to life. Zuri flinches as cold mist envelops her. Elsewhere, another chamber. Nova stands alone under bright white lights facing a technician in hazard gear.
Synthetic Unit 4387, initiating sterilization cycle.
A cleansing mist floods the chamber, accompanied by a series of electrical pulses. Nova doesn't move.
Subject is compliant. Systems intact, awaiting further instruction.
In the decontamination pod, a medic is accompanied by a soldier.
Strip! Jumpsuits are provided. Place all removed clothing into the bin now.
They comply. Their suits and clothing are placed in a sealed bin and ejected into an incinerator with a roar of flame. The group, now in gray standard-issue jumpsuits, sits in silence.
We made it. That's something, right?
Ask me when we land.
Zuri and Nova meet up again when they are led to an interrogation chamber. Nova and Zuri sit across from Lieutenant Everett. A data pad rests in front of him. His tone is cold, official.
Let's start from the beginning. Your mission on LV-157. How did you become compromised?
I was attacked by a facehugger and implanted with an alien embryo. My team acted quickly and placed me in a cryopod. Once on base, Nova saved my life by removing and destroying the embryo.
And the Ephemeral? You were listed as KIA. How did you end up there?
We were part of a scavenging team and responding to a distress signal.
So you both decided to go AWOL and go on the run to where you have almost been killed by xenomorphs. Not once, but twice.
Not quite. Weyland-Yutani wanted me to report to medical after having a chest burster removed from my body. Nova decided to accompany me to make sure I was safe. What was I supposed to do?
A chest burster? You should have reported to medical. Instead, you risked the lives of fellow colonial Marines and got civilians killed.
Meanwhile, inside the quarantine pod.
They can't keep us locked up like this. We did nothing wrong.
It's not them. It's Weyland-Yutani.
Ronnie leans back against the wall, his breathing shallow.
You alright, man?
Yeah, just tired.
I feel you, Ronnie. We've had a long day.
We'll get through this.
Ronnie suddenly coughs, wet and harsh.
Ronnie!
He coughs again, harder, then vomits black ooze onto the floor.
Oh no!
Noah jumps up and begins banging on the glass door to the pod.
We need a medic in here!
Help! Someone! We need help!
The guard on duty races to the glass door and sees Ronnie convulsing on the floor with black ooze pouring out of his mouth, nose, and eyes. He runs and bangs down on the alarm. The alarm begins to blare. Red lights flood the pod. The others press their backs against the wall as Ronnie convulses on the floor. Back in the interrogation room, Everett taps on the data pad when the alarm sounds. He then pauses. A knock on the door. A Marine bursts in.
Sir, quarantine breach. One of them is infected. It's bad.
Everett bolts up. Nova and Zuri follow as the Marine leads them down the corridor. They arrive at the sealed quarantine pod. Through the observation window, Ronnie is convulsing on the floor. The others are terrified.
Help him, please!
We can still get them out. Quarantine them again, treat them.
No. They're already dead. I'm not losing the ship.
You don't know that.
Seal the cargo hold and purge the quarantine pod.
The pod's magnetic locks hiss. The survivors inside realize what's about to happen.
No. No!
Zuri and Nova are yanked away. They can hear their friends screaming for help. The outer doors blast open. A thunderous gust. Screaming. One by one, Donnell, Ray, Noah, Masako, Jacob, and Ronnie are pulled into space. The silence that follows is unbearable. The hatch seals shut. Zuri stares, frozen. Nova lowers her head.
They were exposed. It was protocol. Soldier, report to the bridge and have them set a course for Earth. Send a message to Wayland Yutani that the asset has been recovered.
You have just listened to Aliens, Blood and Acid by Cherry Amori.